Hello, everyone. Welcome to Soothing Sundays. We'll get started in a minute. And on Soothing Sundays, we always start with a neurological reprogramming tool it's the little the antidote to the Sunday Scaries. So we're going to release any fear-based states, any through our neurological reprogramming tool of the week. So you can use it throughout the week. And then just talking and answering your questions. That's what I'm here for. And this tool that we are using is mantras, but they're done in a very specific way where they're actually a form of neuroconditioning. And so you want to say them again and again. And so what you're going to do with mantras when they're used as a form of neuroconditioning, you're going to say them and listen to them again and again. And you could listen to them in your mind. You could listen to them in this recording, but please just listen to them over and over again. And then as you listen to them more and more and they sink into your mind and your subconscious mind more and more, you could add feeling into it. So what does that feel like? Whatever you're saying, like, I'm gonna have a good day tomorrow. How does that feel? So whatever mantra it is, start to attach a feeling state to it. But first, just let it sink into your brain. Just like when there's a song that you really like and you start to learn all the lyrics and that song is stuck in your head, but then when it comes on the radio or on your mix, you're just like, yeah, and you feel all the feelings attached to that song that you really like. It's the same type of thing. Okay, so again, this is 1 minute of neuroconditioning to reprogram your brain to sleep well and have the best week. So go ahead and breathe deeply. We want to breathe deeply to lower the cortisol levels in our body and in our brain. And also when we're breathing deeply continuously, our brain is in a theta state where we can actually receive any type of positive messaging. It gets into the subconscious mind, and that's where the real magic happens. So breathe deeply. And I'm just going to say the mantras, and I'm going to say them in the first person, and then I'm going to say them in the second person. When I say them in the second person, you could repeat them to yourselves. Okay. Breathing in and out. You can rest and relax knowing tomorrow is going to be a great day. This is going to be the best month for you. Your nervous system feels safe and at peace right now. Your nervous system feeling safe and at peace is normal for you. That's your normal state. Your body knows how to relax and sleep peacefully throughout the night. You release any and all tension in your body. You release all thoughts that aren't yours to carry. You release all thoughts that don't have anything to do with your relaxation and rest now. You release all thoughts that don't have anything to do with your relaxation and rest now. Your only job is to relax your body and mind through peaceful, deep sleep. You sleep deeply and at peace. You sleep deeply and at peace. You sleep deeply, You sleep deeply and peacefully throughout the night. You sleep deeply and peacefully throughout the night. It's normal for you to sleep deeply and peacefully throughout the night. With every breath you take, you get more and more relaxed. With every breath you take, you enter a deeper state of relaxation and peace. Tomorrow is going to be a wonderful day. Something amazing is going to happen for you tomorrow. Something amazing is going to happen tomorrow, so you can sleep deeply and peacefully knowing that something wonderful is going to happen tomorrow for you, and you're going to have the best day tomorrow. Now I'm going to say these in the second person. I'm going to invite you to say them to yourself. I relax and rest knowing tomorrow is going to be a great day. This This is going to be the best month for me. My nervous system feels safe and at peace right now. My nervous system feeling safe and at peace is a normal state for me. My body knows how to relax and sleep peacefully throughout the night. I release all tension in my body. I release all thoughts that aren't mine to carry. I release all thoughts that I release all thoughts that I don't have. Sorry. I release all thoughts that don't have to do with my relaxation and rest right now. My only job is to relax my body and mind through peaceful, deep sleep. My only job right now is to relax my body and mind through peaceful, deep sleep. My only job right now is to relax my body and mind through peaceful, deep sleep. I sleep deep. I sleep deeply. Sorry, guys. I sleep deeply and peacefully throughout the night. I sleep deeply and peacefully throughout the night. It's normal for me to sleep deeply and peacefully throughout the night. With every breath I take, I am more and more relaxed. With every breath I take, I enter a deeper state of relaxation and peace. Tomorrow is going to be a wonderful day. Something amazing is going to happen to me tomorrow, so I can sleep deeply and peacefully, knowing that something wonderful is going to happen tomorrow, and I'm going to have the best day tomorrow, and I'm going to have the best month tomorrow. So say those mantras to yourself throughout the rest of tonight and as you're falling asleep, and you're really reprogramming your brain. And as you say them and as you hear them, you want to, again, add emotion to them and just really knowing and trusting that they're happening. So again, this is Soothing Sundays. Welcome to Soothing Sundays. If you have a question about mental health, relationships, toxic relationships, narcissists, borderlines, those type of personalities, anything related to mental health and relationships, please let me know. I'm going to check the comments here. I comment to make you angry. Hello, how are you? So again, I just went over those mantras, but if you have any type of mantra that just feels right to you, or affirmation, we also call them affirmations, and your affirmation should affirm something that you want. So every single word in the affirmation is only something you want. So for instance, you would not say, I am not stressed, because you don't want stress. You would say, I am deeply peaceful right now. I am very relaxed right now. I'm very abundant, whatever it is. You only say what it is that you want, and then repeat that over and over again. And then you add the layer of emotion. But if you could just get in that rhythm of saying the affirmation or the mantra over and over again, then layer it with emotion. And when you layer it with emotion, you could feel it in your body. And that's your nervous, when you feel things in your body, it's your nervous system saying, yes, okay, this is true. I know what this is. I can feel into it. And that's how, if you're manifesting something, that's what you want to do. That's why they say, like, for instance, Neville Goddard says feeling is the secret, because the feeling aspect of it is part of your brain. It's part of your nervous system feeling into it. You've had butterflies in your stomach. You've had things that make you scared. You've had things that make you relax, and they all feel a certain way. So whatever you're associating with that thing that you want, feel into that. How would that genuinely feel? And I'm talking about like a healthy version of it. So especially like when my clients are learning to manifest healthy relationships, sometimes they're coming from a place of relationships feeling tense and kind of exciting, but you're always on edge and, this kind of anxious attachment thing. So we have to go in and reprogram that and like uninstall that old program and reinstall a new one where relationships are peaceful and relaxing and everyone gets their needs met, and there's not this constant like angst about it, or oh my gosh, are they going to leave me, or do I have to attend to them all the time, or they will forget about me. There's none of that. So and if that's you, if you're on this, when we go live on Soothing Sundays, or I go live midweek, I talk about raising your standards a lot, and also being aware of your standards. So writing down your standards in every area of your life, your health, wealth, relationships, career. And then after you do that, you can create affirmations around them. And when you do, like, okay, I'm in a healthy relationship. My partner is supportive of everything I do. It's so peaceful to be around my partner. We do things and we relax and we both feel very taken care of, and in the relationship, it's a safe relationship. Do you see how I'm going on and on? And so when you're doing that, you could attach certain things to it. It could be like going out to dinner and that's peaceful, or just relaxing, you know, I don't know, watching a show or movie that you like, whatever it is for you, but you're really getting into that new state of mind. Because remember, whatever you give energy to, that grows. And whatever you stop giving energy to literally shrinks and starts to die. So, and I know it's really difficult at first but it's like, this is my reality. But if you continue to focus on what it is that you would like to create more of in your life, that will show up the more and more you give that energy. Hi, Miss Priya. Hey, what was with you and the cashew? Haha. Oh, yeah. Yes, I just felt like I had to tell that story. If Miss Priya is referring to a post I did yesterday about this woman who, you know how I am about victimhood. It's okay to be in the depths of despair. It's okay to be healing from things, and those are uncomfortable feelings that come up. Like stuff happens, shit happens, and it sucks. And that's why I'm here for you guys, to help you heal and move through that and evolve and recalibrate so you're at a higher level of consciousness, and that shit is behind you. It's truly behind you. You don't just repeat the same patterns. But I am not about, hey, this bad thing happened to me and now I'm going to use the rest of my life to make excuses for every bad behavior I have. So if you guys missed that post, it was, I just went to the store, and this lady, like, the bin section where you could scoop nuts and granola and stuff, she just put all of her hands in there. It was like, ha, 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 like super gross. And I was like, can you not do that? That's very gross. And if you're going to steal from Sprouts, just at least put in your hand. But just, it's so inconsiderate, because it's like, other people are. And then anyway, she was just like, I'm sorry, I have trauma from my ex-husband. And I'm like, yo, I don't care. That's not the point. And I was like, first of all, I'm a therapist. I have a master's degree in psychology, and that has nothing to do. She's like, I have PTSD. And I was like, that has absolutely nothing to do with you being disgusting and inconsiderate and stealing from Sprouts, stealing from a grocery store, and, putting your hands all over everything that other people are going to eat. That's their food. And I was just like, no, I just shut her down. And she was like, oh, like I wasn't expecting that. I think like a lot of people like that use their victimhood, they weaponize their victimhood. It's called learned helplessness, or it's kind of like what they're looking for, the response that they're looking for is, whoa, I'm sorry. Okay. Narcissists do it with anger. They'll get so angry until they totally like bully you and bulldoze you with anger, and they'll stop. They'll continue to talk, and you're just like, shit, fine. Borderline people do it with threats. They're not real threats, but threats of killing themselves. That's their big thing, that they're going to commit suicide. And it's like, okay. And so and it's this very manipulative attempt to not take accountability for their behaviors. Like, oh, I'm going to kill myself. Like, okay, I am so bad that I don't even, I don't deserve to be. And then you're like, okay, don't do that. And so now you're comforting them and placating them and telling them all these nice things. And they're like, playing up this victim card so they don't have to take responsibility for what they did. So these are all forms of like weaponizing victim status. And again, I have the biggest heart for all of that. Like I'm here to help you guys with that. But we don't weaponize the things that have happened to us. And a lot of people get stuck in that place instead of actually healing and doing the work, because I want you to, heal from whatever has happened to you. I mean, we all have shit that's happened, but I want you to just be a better version of yourself and look back and be like, yeah, wow, that time in my life sucked. But you know what? I got through it. I learned something about that. And that version of myself was doing the best he or she could. But now I have better tools. And that's why my life is better. And that's why I don't attract those dynamics anymore. Because, for instance, one of the things I specialize in is personality disorders and healing after narcissistic relationships and toxic relationships. But my biggest goal for you guys, whether you're taking my course or you're watching any of my content or you're here, is I want you to not have that pattern anymore. I want you to release. It's always unconscious. That's why people get pissed that don't want to take responsibility for their lives. They're like, you are victim blaming me. You're victim blaming me. Okay. None of that was my fault. Well, babe, yeah, it was, because narcissists know how to they know who to pick, and I mean, I hated hearing that when I was doing my healing, and I did not want to hear that. I was like, God, I've done really, I know this stuff logically, really? But once I was willing to look at it, I was like, damn, yeah, that's right. That's why the narcissist could see that in me. They could see that vulnerability, and they played on it. And those are the things I wanted to hear. That's what I wanted. So yeah. And when I was able to look at that, bring it into consciousness, then like narcissists don't have, or any of these toxic people, they don't have a hold on me. And that's all I want for you guys. I want you guys to have the best relationships and the best, like in every area of your life. I want you guys to have this health, wealth, relationships, connection with your higher power, whatever it is. My main question today, hi, this is from Miss Priya. My main question today was, does acting like a narcissist towards a narcissist ever work? Like, give it back to them what they do? You can, and they'll just get frustrated. I mean, I feel like when you are in the depths of like dealing with a narcissist, there is, I like to call it a phase, or like a reactive time when you're like, okay, I'm going to teach them how it is. And, I have a lot of funny stories from my ex that I call Angry Midget about this. I would just start treating him like, and he would get pissed. He would get pissed. And, especially when I pointed out like what a hypocrite he was, he'd be like, fine, fine. And then, so I, I would highly suggest you not do that, because it just causes more chaos. It will like raise your cortisol levels even higher. And also, Miss Priya, if you do that, then that's lowering your vibration. Like, you have to remember, narcissists are the most insecure people on the planet. They are the most insecure people on the planet. They have no sense of self. That is why they always have to like get admiration and praise from these. They're like parasites. You have to think of them as psychological and social parasites. They need you. So if you were to ignore them, which is a sad thing, when you ignore them, they tend to first, all of their shame, they crumble and they feel all out of shame, and then they start kissing your ass. But it's a terrible cycle to be in. Eventually we have to not be in relationship with people like that, or otherwise a toxic cycle will continue. But no, it's kind of like saying, hey, the question that you're asking, and a lot of people ask this question, but essentially it's like, hey, this room smells like shit because there's a big pile of shit in the middle of the room. So what if I add more shit to it? Will that help? No, it won't. It will make everything shittier and smell worse and gross. So no, the better thing to do is to be in a better, cleaner state that actually supports you having a healthy, peaceful nervous system. That is the better thing to do. Okay. But good question, Miss Priya. Yes, because it can be very frustrating to deal with these type of people. And the other thing I want to say in regards to that too is that you have to also remember that narcissists love drama. Why do they love drama? One, because at some point you're going to get so activated and they're like, look how crazy you are. So they could do the whole Darvo thing, deflect. And it's like, whoa, you're being crazy. You need to come. It has nothing to do with them, right? You're the one that's bad or in the wrong. So they like it for that reason. And they also like it because, of course, narcissists can't handle intimacy. So they need the drama. They need the like separation, and they need to like also make you the bad person. And what happens when you are the bad guy or there's a lot of drama going on? They go to the other form of supply and talk about how crazy you are, the flying monkeys, or whomever else they're cheating on you with, or whatever it is that are talking shit about you to. So they need that drama to keep the cycle going. And I want you guys to break the cycle, and I want the cycle to be so unappealing that you don't even attract people like that. Because sometimes I see a lot of my clients at first they'll get out of the toxic relationship, they'll stop attracting narcissists in their romantic relationships, but they have a narcissistic boss, or like the whole company that they work for is like narcissistic and chaotic, and they're being taken advantage of and all of these things. So it's still like a narcissistic system. This light, I'm trying to figure out how about there. So I want your nervous system to be so healthy and so like repelled by stuff like that you wouldn't even, like, your standards are so high that you wouldn't even attract that. And because when we are available to have a narcissist come into our lives, is because there's an opportunity for us to increase our sense of worthiness and increase how we perceive ourselves and what we feel worthy of and how we feel like we should be treated. And the whole thing of, like, getting breadcrumbed, that's, like, a thing that would never cross your mind, because on some level, you're willing to accept that and settle for treatment that isn't the best. And that could show up in your relationships. Sorry, I have something in my eye. But that could show up in your relationships or, at work are the 2 places I see it the most. I see it in, like, religious communities too, but, like, you spend most of your life at work, and then the second most in your romantic relationships are at home, so that's where it's gonna show up the most, but those are 2 significant relationships. Great question, and please let me know if you have any other questions about mental health, relationships, anything like that. We've talked about OCD on here, and ADD a little bit, ADHD, which I think is more of a superpower than anything else. But I will also say again, because on Wednesday my thing was kind of breaking up. Please let me know. I had the internet people come out again. Sorry about that if you were on that. I just want to provide a nice high quality experience for you guys. So let me know if my the video is okay or if anything happens, and I'll stay on top of that. Anyway, what I was going to say is, oh yeah, so what I was saying on Wednesday, because it was kind of choppy, is that this whole thing, this whole journey of healing, there's some rhetoric going on about, especially I just hear it on TikTok mostly, but still, this rhetoric about you're never healing, healing is like a bad fucking word now all of a sudden, and healing could mean recalibrating yourself. It could mean recovering. It could mean entering a new level of consciousness. It basically means evolving. Okay. I don't mean healing like there's something bad with you, you're wrong, or there's something that is like off or wrong with you, or that needs to be fixed. Like, that's the whole thing. The rhetoric is like, there's nothing to be fixed. Yes, bitch, I know there's nothing to be fixed. But a lot of times we go through things that are traumatizing. They just traumatize us. Just like if I fall and I get a scratch here, my skin needs to heal, and it will heal, and then it'll go back to normal. And sometimes actually when you get, punctured, like, a lot of beauty treatments do that. They temporarily like break the skin and it makes it better. Like, it produces more collagen. So I'm not saying that healing is like, it doesn't mean that something is wrong with you or something needs to be fixed, but there is an opportunity to release something, like David R. Hawkins talks about. So when I'm talking about healing, and most of us that are good at what we do, that are healers or therapists or coaches, that are good at what we do, we want to help you get to another level of consciousness. We want to see you evolve and be a better version of yourself, whatever that means for you, whether it means like doing that thing career-wise that you always wanted to do, understanding your purpose, having that relationship, having that career goal met, or that financial goal, whatever that is. If you're not evolving, you're flatlining, and that means you're devolving, right? We always are conscious, and this is written in every spiritual script, by the way, and every religious, spiritual, and it's also a part of science and biology, and like, that is how God, whatever you call your higher power, designed this shit. Okay, so you're supposed to keep evolving in some type of way. So when I'm talking about healing, it's a temporary state, it's a transitional state to get you to a higher state of consciousness. I'm not talking about like you're bad and something needs to be fixed. So I'm so sick of that, because I feel like it's a form of spiritual bypassing, where it's like, oh, I don't need to take accountability for this. I don't need to I don't need to do any work. There's nothing for me to do because I'm not broken and all this stuff, and nothing needs to be fixed. I'm not saying that, but it's also like, yes, you get to do the work. You get to consistently do the work. You get to consistently show up for yourself. It's just like spiritual and psychological hygiene, right? You take a bath, you brush your teeth, hopefully, and do all of that stuff. You get to do the inner work constantly. Otherwise, you're stuck on TikTok for 10 years, talking about the same shit that happened 30 years ago, but saying, I don't need to heal. There's nothing to be fixed. Okay, fine. But I'm always trying to get you to upgrade your vibration and enter these higher states of consciousness, because I promise you there's more and more freedom there. That's it. But that's what I have to say about, I really feel like people, yeah, they just get on their high horse and they think they're saying something so profound when they're like, there's nothing to heal. Bitch, you know what I'm talking about. You can call it like, your brain is like a computer. So we have to uninstall that old belief of I'm not worthy. Money's hard to come by. All relationships, all men, all women are like this. We have to uninstall those programs and install a healthier program so we could operate and function at a higher level and like do more and like live our purpose. Though I think the ultimate thing is to like really live your purpose and have beautiful relationships and be closer and closer and more aligned with God or whatever you call your higher power. Okay. Thank you. That's my little TED talk on that. Hopefully the whatever didn't break up. Tips to disengage at work when someone is being hostile or not friendly. Like, hold on, my eyes. Like discard, is that word disagree or disregard their results? Or discard their insults. So if someone's being that way in the work environment, I would gray rock it to the, I like to call it being, and I just made this up, and it is a form of gray rocking, but you want to be as exciting as the color beige. And I'm talking like that 80s beige, baby. Like you are just so fucking boring. Okay? Because narcissists and toxic people need you to react. They need you to have some type of reaction, even if it's like, oh, you have to remember, because you're thinking about it from a normal state of like, why are you behaving this way? But they are doing anything that they can to trigger your nervous system, because they have so much chaos going inside them and they hate themselves so much and they have so much guilt and shame that they want to trigger a negative response in you. So they have, and especially at work, right? Because your question's about work. So at work, you have this whole audience of people and it's kind of like, okay, let me see how many people I could get on my side of things. And it's like, okay, well, look at her over there. Jeez, after they cause the reaction. But you never want to be like supply for them. You never want to be supply for their drama. So if you just stay in your lane, you don't react to things. I mean, you could pretend like you don't hear them sometimes. They will find a new target. I promise you, if they can't get what they want out of you, because that's what all toxic people and narcissists do. It's like, what can I get out of this person? So if there's nothing to get from you, they will move on. And you'll just be known as that person that they can't get anything from. And they might, whatever, like whatever, she's so boring or whatever. Good, you want to be boring to these people. Don't engage, even when it's like, like that. Go vent somewhere else, take a walk, do some deep breathing. That will do so much more for you than you think, but do not engage in any way. Yeah, you want to disregard their comments in any way that you can. How about you shut up? Let me delete that comment. So yeah, but great question, because it is really difficult in the work environment, because that's where they could, especially if a narcissist if there's a power dynamic, right? So they're your boss or something like that. Okay, I'm gonna just get you out of here. Bye. Now you're banned forever. So especially if it's a narcissistic boss or anyone that has like any type of authority over you, then you have to, write everything down just to protect yourself. Make sure you have, like, I hate to say that, but keep everything. And then also with that, especially if there's a power dynamic, please like communicate with them in email as much as possible. And they will try to get you on the phone. I cannot tell you how many times, because I also do a lot of executive coaching. No, let's just talk about this. You must insist to email them as much as possible, because then they can't gaslight or, rewrite history or anything, and they don't like taking accountability for anything. So if it's just hearsay, they can say, "Oh, yeah, that didn't happen," or, they can just offload a lot of things on you that aren't true. And let me give my disclaimer. So, like, literally, I don't fuck around. Like, if you try to, like, what's it called? Troll my, like, thing, and you start doing whatever, and that I will fucking ban you. Like, I don't want your views, I don't want your subscribe, I don't want anything. Even though, like, you get more comments or whatever, like, it's supposed to be. No. If you do anything to fuck with my live stream, I have a button on here and it says ban the user forever. You'll never see my face again. Okay, babe? Like, I'm not here to fuck around. And I also say that because so the, like, YouTube knows I'm not like advocating those type of comments or anything, but you better fuck the fuck off, because that shit is not welcome here and it never will be. Okay? We're here to heal. We're here to upgrade our consciousness. We're here to be the best version of ourselves in every area of our life. Not like think about what a low life you have to be like, of all people, me, right? Like, I'm not like some entertainer. I'm like a therapist trying to help you guys. And you're like, oh, you're saying all these vulgar things. Like, shut the actual fuck up. Anyway, oh, thank you. You're very sweet. So, anyway, there's another rant of mine. But anyway, let me know if you guys have any other questions related to relationships, mental health. If you're new here, this is Soothing Sundays. We always start with a neurological reprogramming tool. So some type of neuro conditioning tool to reprogram your brain to have the best week. Get rid of the Sunday scaries if you have them. Just ease your nervous system so you can have the most amazing week. And it's the new month. Yay, we have a new month. Also, let me know if you have any wins. And also, let me know, what are your intentions for the month? I love the beginning of the month because it's an opportunity to create something new. And yeah, it just always feels like a fresh. I feel like every Sunday feels like a fresh start, but especially when it's a new month. So, what's been going on for you guys? Like if there's a goal or like intention that you have, and it's also good to just write it down or put it out there, because when you do that, even if it's on a piece of paper, like, this month my intention is to do whatever it is, X, Y, and Z, and I get this amount done. So if you guys have any of those things, wins for the week or an intention that you want to, like, even if it's just one tiny new behavior. It could be going to bed an hour earlier. It could be doing 20 more minutes of exercise, drinking more water, being more grateful. That is always a good one. Gratitude is a very high vibrational state. And the more gratitude you give things, just like any form of energy, the more that thing can grow in your life. Even if you have like, $2 in your wallet, be like still thankful for those $2 and watch it expand into more. I took a deep breath and stepped away from a social media argument. Oh, good. Social media arguments. Again, that is excellent. That is a huge win. And people are really addicted to drama. So what is a good, if you have a drama addiction, where's a good place to get that fed? Oh yes, it's social media. Let me just argue with some strangers. Let me get up in that comment section and trigger a bunch of strangers and see what kind of reactions I can get. Can you imagine back in the day when there was just like soap operas and, reality TV was just a thing? I think about that sometimes with drama addicted people, but then they're probably like out in the wild actually like, creating more chaos for their families as well. I used to get into comment wars. Oh yeah. Miss Priya, I want you to take your precious energy and devote it to something that contributes to your well-being. That'll be your homework for the week. What do you think? Do you accept that challenge? Because why are you getting into wars in the comment section? Like, is that contributing to any area of your life in a good way? Probably not. And I want the best for you. I want the best for all of you. So if you were to take that energy, you could even take that energy and make a post about it. If you are active on creating in social media, you could do things like that, or you can, I don't know, you can turn it into something creative, or you could take that energy and, I don't know, organize a shelf that needs to be organized in your house. You know what I mean? Just anything that would be more productive. Vacuum. It seems easy, but I scroll on my phone and then boom, in a stupid comment war. Well, it takes more than that. So, Miss Priya, like if you were to be like when my clients have this happen to them, it's not like just boom. And I know it feels that way, but there's a addiction underneath there. It's like when I work with people that have like food addictions and binge eating addictions, it does feel like all of a sudden, boom, like, oh my God, that bag of chips is gone. But really, the underlying thing is this, like you're seeking it out because it's kind of numbing out something, it's filling some type of void. Now you have mentioned, how do I deal with these like toxic relationships? So maybe it gives you some, like maybe there's a toxic relationship in your life that feels very disempowering. So being in the comment section and getting into fights like that where it feels like you're winning the fight, maybe that feels empowering in some type of way. And what I'm suggesting and inviting is like, is there something that you can do that is actually going to give you that sense of empowerment, but also positively contribute to your life? Is there anything like that that you can like transfer that energy to instead of just being in the, comment section? And I would also use scrolling. Like I've trained my algorithm to for things to show up that are interesting to me, that are about like neuroscience and like things to, help me be a better therapist, and things that I'm actually like that I can learn about, or even things that I don't know that, because I'm always looking at, okay, what kind of things are best for your brain and all these. So like that type of stuff. If you're going to be on social media, can it be more positive things? Could you find like channels about manifesting and channels about rewiring your brain like mine, yay, like, or others. There's other people like me that um are talking about more positive things. But I just want you to get away from that drama addiction. Walking, doing squats, oh hell yeah, I love that, because walking and doing cardio and squats is also going to really up those endorphins. And when we have those endorphins, we're like very relaxed. We're very, it calms the nervous system. Not to mention it's great for your health in general. I would totally swap those behaviors and those habits. I would, anytime I felt like going in, if it's you, go in the, instead of going into the comment section, take a walk, or just throw your phone across the other side of the room and do 50 squats. How about that for this week, Miss Priya? And then on Wednesday, or next Sunday, you could tell me how you did. I would love to hear about that. But that's great. That's great that you're able to see that in yourself and know that it's like a silly comment war, right? And that there is a behavior that you can replace with that. And what I like about that is that, it's called anchoring. So with anchoring, it's another form of neuroconditioning where it's kind of like, okay, that bad behavior, oh, I'm getting triggered by it. And then right before, it's kind of like, okay, I'm really wanting to, let's take Priya's example, for instance. So it's like, oh, I'm wanting to go in the comment section. And you notice what you're doing. There's that pause. There's that moment where you're noticing what you're doing. Or even maybe you're starting to write the comment, but you can stop yourself. You create a pause. You create a positive pattern disruption. Okay, that's what the pause is. And then you put the phone down, and then you go do some cardio, or you do 50 to 100 squats and some push-ups or some sit-ups. And then I bet after that, you're like, wow, that feels really good. Let me do something else that's actually contributing to my well-being. So that's what that anchoring is, or that form of anchoring is, and using the positive pattern disruption to create an entire new habit. And then after a while, you will associate social media with healthier things, and you won't be tempted to be on it for as long. And you definitely won't want to get in the comment section, because I really do think that a lot of people that are doing they're just like angry about something else. Like all these people in the comment section, I'm just like, y'all need therapy. You're not really mad about whatever argument you're having in the comment section. You actually really hate your life, or something's not going right in your life, and you're taking it out on the comment section here, which is weird. I mean, it's more than weird, it's kind of sad and maybe a little pathetic, but it's okay. We've all had pathetic times in our life, but like people that are just so, no, I'm right. And, you can't even, you know, they're not open to hearing anything other than that. Leave them alone. Hi, Big Pontiac. How are you? We've been talking about neurological reprogramming. I did my neurological reprogramming tool. And we're talking about any wins you had for the week and any intentions that you have for this week and this month, since it's a new month. Like what's a little behavior change that you would like to do? We just went into Miss Priya, and I feel like she has a good assignment, a good thing to rewire her brain and focus on, to go from mindless social media stuff to walking, squatting, or doing squats or cardio. I freaking love that. So yeah, if you have anything that you want to upgrade or improve for the month of May and this week, or if you have any wins. Long days of May. Yeah. Let me know. Mine is just to provide like good quality, high quality content for you guys. And also let me know if there are videos, like short videos or long videos, that you would like me to make on a certain topic, because I love that. I have so many like things I always think of to make videos on, but if it's something that you want me to make a video on, like definitely let me know, because I do this for you guys. So let me know. I want to get better. Everyone's into pickleball. I played pickleball once. It was fun. Good. But I like that. I like that it's physical, right? And there, what book is it by Max 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 Gladwell? Outliers. The book Outliers. He talks about the 10,000 rule, but the 10,000 rule is about 10,000 hours of, doing something, and how like athletes, everyone that's really good at something has at least 10,000 hours experience with it. But it's not just actually physically doing it, it's reciting it in your head over and over again. And in that book, they did studies of like free throwers. And so they had one set of free throwers with the same level of skills practice it in their head like over and over again. For a week, and then they had another team another set of people just practice physically, and at the end of the week they had improved the same amount. And I actually think the people that just practice it in their head were a little bit higher. So think about that. And I want you guys to do that for anything in your life. Rehearse it in your mind. If it's a presentation, if it's pickleball, if it's just having better health in general. People like think that this is crazy, but like it is true that we're constantly communicating with ourselves. A lot of Joe Dispenza's work is about this, and he has like in his what he does. People have these like sporadic, it looks very sporadic, like almost miraculous, like remission from a bad health problem that they have, or they're getting out of wheelchairs and walking. But there's this intense focus on the health state that they want. And so your mind is constantly communicating with your cells. So you can literally upregulate your metabolism. You can reverse a lot of things. People have gotten rid of cancer and all like a lot of other reversed eye problems from that. So you could definitely do that by changing, like rehearsing in your mind the state that you want, whatever it is you want to be, do, or have. If you want a certain number in your bank account, if you could just see it in your bank account and be like, this is normal, this is my new normal, this is what I have now. If you want that relationship, what does that look like, what does that feel like? And you just repeat in your mind all the time, recite it again and again. How does that person talk to you? How do they communicate with you? How do they adore you and respect you, and all the things that you want? What's it look like when you go out to dinner or stay in for the night? And you just rehearse that in your head over and over again. That is how we literally materialize what we want in our lives. Mike, hi Mike. So it's really possible to exist in a life where the NPD are repelled? Yes, absolutely. Feels like it's way more than oh, yeah, it's way more. Narcissists are way more than 15% of the population, first of all. There's no way to really calculate it. But narcissism, this is why I call it like the lazy defense mechanism, because that's all it is. It's not like some neuroses that you're born with or something. But a lot of people are cowards and they're afraid to look at themselves. They're afraid to take responsibility for anything. So what's the thing to do? Let me just offload all my shit on everyone else. Let me just never take accountability for anything. And let me find people that are so insecure and so desperate to be loved that they'll put up with my shit, or I'll just love bomb them for a little bit so they'll be addicted to that. And then I'll keep using them as supply, and I'll offload all my shit onto them. So yeah, but you can get to, if you really do the inner work, you do like all the like you don't have to do them all, but there's some neurological reprogramming styles that connect with people more, like inner child work, family systems, affirmations. But journaling is always going to help because you're able to look at yourself from another state and you're just rewiring your brain in a different way when you do that. But yeah, after a while, you will just be like, I can't believe I used to tolerate that. It'll be like this new version of yourself, and you're like, that's strange that it'll feel strange. It'll be like, wow, I used to put up with that. Or you could give that version of yourself a big hug. It'd be like you were doing the best you could. But yeah, you don't have to do that anymore now. Have some water. Hi, Jaden. What is some advice to stop mass rumination? My mind is always thinking and can't switch it off. Okay, great question. So for rumination, we want to not numb out. So first of all, be aware of your numbing behaviors, because a lot of the times people that have rumination tend to numb out. So are you scrolling? Do you binge watch? Do you drink or smoke a lot of weed, or anything? Be aware of your behaviors, your numbing behaviors. And then whatever your numbing behavior is, can you replace it with something healthier? So we just did this with Miss Priya. So can you, and I'm not saying like, don't do it at all, whatever. But if you're going to scroll, be like, okay, you know what? Fine. I can give myself some scroll time. But first, can I do 10 minutes of cardio? Can I go for a 10-minute walk and just breathe? And I'm always going to recommend like deep breathing, because that helps like lower the cortisol levels and helps you, it helps like calm down the mind. And another technique is, I like doing this with a candle, like lighting a candle and looking at it, and you're just looking at it as you're breathing deeply. And then every time a new thought comes up, you breathe it out, and you breathe it out, and you just keep breathing it out. And like, you just notice, instead of like judging yourself for ruminating about the thoughts, you just exhale the next thought away and exhale the next thought away. And then your mind will get kind of bored of it. And then you'll be able to just focus on one thing, and you just keep looking at the candle. Or like the fire, like the human brain likes fires and candles, and we associate it with all of these good things. That's soothing. That's why I think it's nice to do it. Even if you like if you go on a YouTube channel and like, those, how they're playing jazz music with like the crackling fireplace, you could even do that. And you're just breathing and focusing on that. The other thing to do is, and you could also do this with looking at a fire or candle and breathing, go to the mantras. We started this with the mantras before. So go into the mantras and have your mind focus on that, even if it's just one or two. Like, tomorrow's going to be a good day. I'm very prosperous and abundant. I am loved. I am supported. Tomorrow's going to be a good day. I'm very prosperous and supported and abundant. And just over and over and over and over and over again, until, as you're breathing deeply. But start with those to get rid of some of the rumination. And let me know how it goes. But that's a good way. But whatever you're doing, make sure you're breathing deeply, because I promise you, when you're ruminating, you're probably not breathing deeply. Let me see, Mike. I saw a YouTube channel ran by someone in late stages of life that have lived with people like that until just recently. It's not the definition. Is that not the definition of a living hell? Yeah, and it's also, I mean, it would be my definition of a living hell, but we're all responsible for our own lives and our own choices, and, when we're ready to make decisions about things is when we're ready, And, I always, I've worked with people in their 50s and 60s and 70s that are like, "Wow, I'm just learning these things." And I work with some people in their 20s, and I'm like, we're ready when we're ready. When, the student is ready, the teacher appears type of thing. And we have to remember, and, a lot of people get triggered when I say this, but a lot of times when we're in situations that we don't like, we have to look at what part of it is serving you? The idea that nothing can exist if it's not serving us in some type of way. So is it that old like identity that wants to be a victim because that's all you know? And it could just be like, oh, I just have this old pattern in the background, just like an old app that's taking up a lot of energy that just needs to be uninstalled, and you're like kind of unconscious about it. You're like, oh shit, just let me offload that app. So it could just be that, like, and that app is called victimhood, and that um, I'm associating love with being treated like shit. Oh shit, that's what I'm doing now. Let me uninstall that. So and and if that's you, you're not alone. For a long time, I had that. A lot of people have that. It's like you have these fucked up associations with love. And it's like, okay, love has to be anxiety provoking. Love has to be like chaotic and move fast and exciting. Or love, or you know what? I'm just such a good person for tolerating this shit until like your identity doesn't evolve around that anymore. It doesn't need to be like, no, I could be a good person without putting up with all of this terrible behavior. So, yeah, I mean, again, it's Mike. I'm with you, Mike. It's not. I want you guys to like really be living your life like right now, and not look back on life and be like, oh fuck, I spent all this time with this terrible person. So, yeah. Um, Joe Wolf, I want to be a great guitarist. Nice. Okay, I love that, Joe. So, what can you do just that's like just a little bit like 5% or 10% more to get you to being a great guitarist for this month? That'll be your thing for the week and the month. Jaden, say it how it is, girlfriend. I always do. Mike, this that's promising insight. Thank you again and again. Oh, you're so welcome, Mike. Um, I'm gonna erase this in case it's something bad. Let me see. Jaden, thank you for the advice. Oh, thank you, Jaden. You're amazing too. Joe Wolf, have you been playing? I've been playing guitar since 19. Oh, my eyes are like meh today. 1984, and feel like I'm stuck. Well, here's the thing. This goes back to outliers and just that mental rehearsing. First of all, let's drop the old identity of I'm stuck. And like let's just say I'm Joe and I'm amazing at the guitar. I'm just super good at the guitar. I just am naturally that way. And just rewiring your brain in that way. People especially okay, there's two things I'm thinking of. This one guy that got a very bad brain injury from diving into like his mom's pool, like literally lived with his mom at like age 50 and whatever, dived into her pool, horrible, almost died, right? Woke up and was a like piano aficionado, like never played the piano before, but it was like he was classically trained, like something in his brain just rewired. And people that have dissociative identity disorder, also known as multiple personalities, one will be so good at one instrument, like same human body, it's so crazy, and then one won't know that instrument at all. So what is that teaching us about identity? And what is that teaching us about how malleable the brain is? So, it's so important no matter what it is for you, and I know it sounds crazy and, like, mainstream all of the mainstream stuff doesn't want you to know how powerful your mind is, but if you can just drop the old identity of whatever, you can even, like Neville Goddard, you can say, "Hey, I'm Joe, I've been playing the guitar since 1984, and I'm just like, a master, like, an aficionado at it. I'm just like a genius guitar player, and I could just play, and it just comes to me naturally, and that's just how I am. Just try it. Like, what at this point, why not? Just drop the old story. And this is for all of you guys about anything, especially if it feels like a thing like I'm stuck or this one pattern has been there for a bunch of years. Just say that doesn't exist anymore. I used to have that about, like, creating content. I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, I can't do," and then I'm like, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna show up every day and do something." And you just get better and better. And now I just say different things like, whatever. People like hearing from me even if they don't. So, but, how does that sound, Joe? Just taking on a new identity and, thinking of yourself as someone that plays the guitar really well or whatever it is that you guys wanna do. Just say, "I'm really good at that." I am. Like, I always use the Kim Kardashian example, someone that has no talent, but she just is like, "You know what? I'm gonna be, paid really well to exist and be an entertainer," and so she is, because that's her self-concept. Um, let's see. Jaden, "I gotta go now, thank you for the advice, talk next time." Of course, Jaden. Have an amazing week. Let's see, SG. "Hi, Lauren. It's Judy from NYC." Hello, Judy from NYC. "Sorry I'm late, but love to catch your videos." Oh, absolutely. Good to see you, Judy. Let me know if you have any questions, if you have any wins for the week you're celebrating. And also, we're talking about intentions, like intentions for this week or this month. Is there something like just a little behavior shift you could make that would enhance your life in some type of way? Um, Ralph Nick says empathy with boundaries. Yes. And those things can go together. You can have empathy and have boundaries. A lot of people that are takers and want to drain your energy or energy vampires, they think if you have empathy, it means that you have to do everything for them. And you have to, I guess, not have boundaries. And those two things go very well together. Empathy is a very loving and supportive emotion anyway. So it can have boundaries. Absolutely. Do I want to talk to Michael? I like to be happy. Good, I'm glad you like to be happy. Hello, CJ. Mike, let's see. That allergy example with split personalities is insane. One personality has orange juice allergy, yeah, or something, and the other one didn't. Or maybe it was diabetes. It is so wild. They do this so they test when people are in different personality modes. Like one will be a gay guy that like tests positive for HIV, and then when he goes into another personality that's like maybe like a straight guy that has like 4 kids or whatever, there's no like the HIV is not there. It's not detectable. It is so crazy. Yeah, and the allergy thing is a big thing, which is like it gives me chills to think about because, like, if because I mean, obviously allergies a histamine response and like what histamines do in the body and how that everything your mind is so powerful. That is how powerful your mind is. Okay, guys, like, but yeah, it is wild. Like it's literally two different people that have a different immune system, have different allergies, have different responses to things. They start to look different. It is so crazy. Um, but it just shows you how amazingly powerful your mind is. If you're ever doubting it, like look at people with multiple personalities, dissociative identity disorder. Joe Wolf, so do not be defeated by composition. Do not be defeated by a composition, just add my own approach to the music. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And, like and then more than that, I mean, that's part of it, but also having the identity as someone that is good at whatever. So for you, Joe, having the identity as an amazing guitarist, amazing guitar player, that's all. So, of course, adding your own this to that. And also, like, if you're an amazing guitarist, you don't get defeated or, by a composition, and you don't get, intimidated by it because 'cause you're so good at it. Do you see the identity shift? Whereas like, "Oh my god, this is intimidating," but, like, you have a neural pathway, a neural connection that is like, "This is intimidating, I'm stuck, I'm not good at this," and I'm just saying dismantle that and decide, just shift the identity of, like, there's no composition that's defeating or intimidating to me, and I'm an amazing guitarist, and I pick up music really quickly, any song I can play, like that. Ralph Nick, exactly, don't feed the dark triad, yeah. Hold on one second, I'm gonna get a sip of water. CJ, keeping your beautiful self, girl. Love, yeah. Oh, thank you. Love you too. Okay. Judy, we've worked together. Oh, that Judy. Judy that took my course. I miss you. Been praying a lot and saying mantras. I can do, yes. I can do hard things. Today is the day I break free from the past. Or I would change that to the past is behind me. Because really, guys, the past doesn't exist anymore, right? All we have is this present moment. You only keep the past alive by thinking about it in your thoughts, right? Like even a thought about the past is like an energy form, like all thoughts are energy form that you keep alive by focusing on it. So, and the same thing with anxiety and thinking about the future. So the future hasn't happened yet, but you can get anxiety and think about it by giving it like the only time I want you to focus on the future is when you're manifesting, but I want you to think about it like, oh, I have this now and it feels so good. But really, all you have is this moment, nothing else exists. And I'm saying that in a way where I want you to feel free. I want you to know that, like, the freedom that's attached to that, that really the past, because it doesn't exist, it can't have a hold on you. It can't. We do keep it alive by thinking about it, but you have the power to drop that at any time. Your mind is that powerful. Your mind can do so many powerful things. I know there are people that don't want you to think that and they want you to stay numbed out with whatever, but your mind is that powerful. Yes. Hi, Judy. Oh my God. It's so good to hear. I've been thinking about you. That's so funny. Um, when I'm in the middle of doing something that my body and brain deems hard, I place a timer and breathe through it. Yes. And continue anyway. I freaking love that. Yes. Yeah, Judy was in my course, and Judy, um, because you were in my course, you like anyone that has my course has access to it for life, and I, add things to it all the time. And I also, there's an app on the platform that it's on. They made an app for it now called Go Collab with a K, so you can go in there and like you'll see everything. I need to send like a Maybe I'll send an email to you guys, or I'll just text you. I have all my, my course students and my clients. I like text you guys. It's like I like being close with you guys and all of that. So sounds good. I'll change that up. I'm so happy to hear from you, Judy. It's so good to hear from you and have you on here. You have any other wins that you've been celebrating or that you want to celebrate like for the week? And do you have any intentions for this week or the month of May? Just wondering. You don't have to answer that if you want to. Just putting it out there for you and anyone else. Joe, cool. Have to sub to your live. Positivity is what I need. Thank you. Oh, absolutely, Joe, for sure. Yeah. If you're new here, I'm a therapist and I help people rewire their brain and nervous system to get whatever you want in life. and just to upgrade, if you think of your brain like a computer, we're just upgrading. We're just putting new programs in. We're getting rid of, we're uninstalling old programs, right? That Windows 98, it worked well back in the day, but those belief systems, they're glitching now. They're not, they're making you feel stuck, or they're making you feel whatever, these things that you don't need to feel anymore. So we're in 2026. We're in this present moment. The present is all that exists. And, and the other thing is like, if you do have any type of higher power, God, whatever you call it, stay connected to that as much as you can, because that will keep you out of the past or worrying about the future. It will keep you in the present moment where you can feel that presence. I remember one of my teachers told me that help, is actually means like hello, ever loving presence, which is God. God is like an ever loving presence. So hello, ever loving presence. So I don't really need to think about the past or worry about the future. I could just be a hello, this ever loving presence that is always with me with every breath I take. That's it. That's it. Yes, I'll definitely do a check-in. I've recently dipped back into the dating pool after years of saying never again. I'm learning what habits of the heart still exist and learning to emotionally regulate whenever it is. I love that, Judy. Oh my gosh. Congratulations. And you've done enough work to be available to that in a healthy way, right? Because when we've had narcissistic relationships in the past, it's like we're usually in a place, I was there, and it's totally fine if this is you, where you're so desperate to be loved that you get into these false, like, you fall for the love bombing feels so good. And so when you finally get out of that narcissistic relationship, you're like kind of shut down for a while. But I would recommend that time to recalibrate. I don't think it's a bad thing to not date. I'd rather you do that and focus on yourself and recalibrate to a healthy place instead of just rushing right into something, because I promise you it will not be healthy. So it sounds like that's what you've done. Like, I mean, Judy's done so much amazing work when she was in my course, and just really just so intentional with things and really committed to her healing. And that's one of the first things I say in the course is like, you have to first be committed to yourself. It's so heartbreaking when the toxic person, the narcissist, makes all these promises and basically abandons you, right? And so when we do the healing, we have to show up for ourselves and consistently show up for ourselves and not abandon ourselves, because that's a stage that we go through sometimes. We're like, shit, well, I'm not attracting people that abandon me anymore, but damn, I'm kind of doing it to myself right now. Let me not do that. But it's about noticing it, so I love that. I love that you're able to have that pause and then regulate yourself, because it's not about never getting triggered, you guys. It's about noticing when you are and then just recalibrating and saying like, okay, I can see that right now. Let me recalibrate. Let me calm my nervous system down. And then afterwards, if it's like at work in the moment, maybe you can't do this, but whenever you can, journal about that. Like, what triggered you? And what what version of you would have to exist for that to not trigger you? That's always a great thing to journal about when you get triggered. I'm sorry. That's always a great thing to journal about when you get triggered. So first, do the regulation, like stop, just reset your nervous system, don't react like you would in the past, and then write down what triggered you and why. And then ask yourself, what version of yourself would exist for that not to trigger you in that way? Because was it like triggering a sense of like loneliness, fear, abandonment, shame, guilt? I typically, like when we are triggered by something, when our nervous system is triggered by something, it's because it's triggering like a fear response. And fear is false evidence appearing real, right? So it's kind of like, and it's usually connected to like one of our inner children is afraid of something. So it's something that happened in the past. So can you notice what that is? So let's say it's like fear of abandonment. And maybe in the past you did get abandoned, but right now, can you trust that you've created a lot of safety for yourself and that you actually love yourself. So no matter what, you can't be abandoned. And if you do have a relationship with a higher power, excuse me, if you do have a relationship with a higher power, this is your opportunity to know on a deeper level and really have faith that there's no way you can be alone, because your higher power is always with you. And, God's always got you. Whatever you call your higher power is always with you, loving you, protecting you, supporting you in every way. But we have to be receptive to that. If we're like, oh, in this fear state, or I have to earn, that was one of the big things I had. I have to earn all of these things. I have to do so much to get a little breadcrumb of something. No, you just get to freely be taken care of and loved and supported just for existing, just for being you, just for being Judy. That's it. And the more that you actually know, trust, and believe that, like in every cell of your body, then that is what will show up in your life. Those miracles, like miracles are normal. That's one of my affirmations or mantras, is like miracles are normal. Like the God is always showing up for me, and God is always loving me and protecting me, supporting me. So of course that's going to happen. Of course that's going to come in. Of course I don't have to worry about that. That's not what God's asking me to do. God's just asking me to trust him and say, thank you. Get more of it, because thank you is just a form of acknowledging that you're connected to God or source in that way. So I love that. Let's see, regulate. My intentions for the week are to start daily with prayer. Love that. Eat clean and exercise at least 4 times a week for my health. Love that. Yes, Judy, that's great. And I go live on YouTube every Sunday for Soothing Sundays at 5 p.m. Pacific, and then midweek, either Wednesday or Thursday. So check in with us midweek or on Sunday or both. Like check in with us to keep those habits going, and just to come to somewhere and be like, hey, I did it this week, or I missed a few days, but I'm going to get back on track. Whatever it is, keep us posted. I love it. Divine perfection. Everything is always working out for our. Oh, this thing in the way. Hold on one sec. Let me open it in another tab. Divine perfection. I love that name. Oh, it's not showing up on here. Okay. Everything is always working out for our something. But yes, everything is always working out, I think, for our greatest good. And then I also think that, we create our reality with our powerful mind, right? And so even knowing that everything is going to work out for us and really believing that makes everything work out for you, right? So, our favor. Yes. Yes, it is. It is working out in our favor. Thank you. I don't know why I have this little icon. So like the very last comment, sometimes it blocks the last word. So sorry about that. That's my bad. Everything is working out in our favor. And the more you believe that, the more things will work out in your favor, because they really are. And it also it keeps us out of like a victim state where you feel like you're just like, oh, being tossed around in the wind. Sometimes people will write comments like, oh, well, life's just unfair and this happened to me, and like that's not how things go, and like life is no, everything's working out in your favor, and everything's always working out like you expect it to also. And I know that triggers people sometimes, but if you have a conscious or subconscious belief that like you're not worthy of this, or things have to go this way, or that's why I'm always encouraging you to rewire your brain in that way with affirmations, mantras, just reconditioning your brain, like that neuro conditioning. It's really a form of like mental hygiene, right? We have spiritual hygiene, we have physical hygiene, we wash and, brush and everything. So of course we're going to do these things for our mental health and our spiritual health. Muy importante. Good, you guys. Well, I've been on here for a while. Do you guys have any other questions, or anything else? If not, I'll wrap up, and I will see you guys. I think Wednesday is the week. I like Wednesday better because it's more in the middle of the yes. So this Wednesday, I will see you guys Wednesday, and on Wednesdays, I go a little bit later. It'll either be what do you guys think? 6 PM? But 6 PM is 9 PM Eastern. Sometimes it's 7 PM, which is 10 PM Eastern. Let me know if you guys have an opinion about that because I have more flexibility on Wednesdays. So it'll either be 6 PM Pacific or 7 PM Pacific for me. But I'll definitely join earlier next time. Thank you, Lauren. Oh yeah, no, it's so good to see you. It's so funny that I was literally thinking about you, Judy. So I'm so glad, it's like it's all connected, right? We're all connected to each other. 6 PM better for me because yeah, exactly. It's not because I can't preach about let's go to bed early and all these things, and then I'm live streaming like at 7 and it's 10 for you East Coasters. So that's what I'm thinking. That 6 PM it'll probably be. Yeah. I think that'll be good. And then I usually go for at least an hour or so. Um and I'm gonna get better about making announcements about it on social media. But my work schedule, because I work with companies sometimes, and so that company that I was working with, we've kind of moved the date around, so I can do Wednesdays now at 6, so that's good. So yes, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific. Okay, me and Judy are just deciding. We've decided. No, because I always ask you guys. Okay, so this week it'll be Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific. I will see you guys there. And then if not, and I'll see you next Sunday for Soothing Sundays at 5 p.m. Pacific. Divine Perfection, 6 p.m. would be great. Yay! It's been decided. I like your guys' input. I really do. Okay, so 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. I will see you guys for the next live stream. And in the meantime, if there's any topics that you want me to cover, if there's anything that you want me to make videos about, especially if there's something you want me to make a longer form YouTube video about, please let me know. I'm going to do an inner child series this week because inner child work or family systems work is such a good way to reprogram your brain. I have other live streams about it, but I want to create a series just so it's easy to find and you could actually just do the step by step whenever you want. But yeah, it's so great to see you guys. Love you guys so much. Love having you here. And you guys ask amazing questions. And I'll see you on Wednesday to hear about your wins and your intentions for the rest of the week and month. Let's see. Ryan Cox, my youngest son is just freakishly hyperactive. I've never seen anything like it, but there's a larger issue. I don't know how to handle it. And the problem is this, he doesn't seem to cut off. I'll definitely have more questions, input. Yay, next time. Love you. Love you too, Judy. Big Pontiac, great show again. Thanks, Big Pontiac. It's always good to see you. Divine Protection. I'm sorry, Divine Reflection. I was saying that wrong. Even though you are perfect too. Divine Reflection. Thank you. We'll try to catch you earlier. Yeah, of course. So I'll see you guys Wednesday or Sunday or both. And Ryan Cox, join us again. Or you know what? You can DM me on Instagram or TikTok and tell me more about it. And then the next live stream I'll answer it more generally because it seemed like what you're talking about is a very layered situation. Hi, Peter. Dang, perfect timing. Lauren, hi. Hello. Hello to everyone. We're just wrapping up, Peter, because I started at 5 p.m. Pacific. But it's good to see you. And I'll be on again if you are just joining. I'll be on again Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific. Okay. So I'm looking forward to hearing about your wins and your intentions for the rest of the week and month. Okay. We're going to have a very freaking good week and we're going to have the most amazing month, you guys. We're all gonna put our intentions together, and I'm sending that vibe out for everyone that watches this now or later or whenever. Like, you are going to have the most amazing week and month. Just let all of those miracles in, let that energy in, let God do things for you that would just blow your mind. How about that? Just like, "Oh my God," you know? 'Cause especially when we let God take over, like, things just get really good. So let's do more of that. Um, but Ryan, I'm gonna answer your question, um, next week, if that's okay, because 'cause we're wrapping up right now. Okay, I will watch this live. May the 4 be with you. Yes! May the 4 is tomorrow. May the 4 be with you. I love that. May the 4 is good. Okay, guys, I love you so much, and, I'm excited to hear from you guys on Wednesday. Mwah. Have a good night, and have an amazing week. It's gonna be a really good week. Really good week. Love you.